So this time we're talking about Gaijin Hunters, and I have a comment and a video clip that'll help illustrate my point and guide the conversation a little bit. Mainly, I'm going to focus on my experiences with them. If you do want to find them, where to find them, just breakdown of what I can, and then we'll move on into a clip from this channel that I really like, even though the original video that I had got deleted after I recorded the first video. But you know, serendipity worked this way, and just before hitting record, this great comment came in, so we'll use this as a guide as well as the second clip from the channel. So let's get into it. So as I mentioned in the intro, I got this comment right here just before recording, and I think it's a really valid question. You know, even though I'm not a fan of Gaijin Hunters, I know many people who live here probably are not a fan of Gaijin Hunters. You've heard about them in several different ways. If you're watching my channel, I'm pretty sure you have. And before I get into where they are and what they're like, I'll just talk about my experiences with them. I don't think I've ever really seriously dated a Gaijin Hunter, although I know several people who have. And basically for me, they're kind of, good. They're okay for a good time if you can get it, but not for a long time, which I'm pretty sure is what you're looking for from the comment. But it seems like in the beginning, they're really kind of fetishizing foreign guys, and they really, looking to just like Pokemon catch them all. And as they get older and basically get played or have negative experiences with foreign guys, like late 20s, early 30s, the ones who still hold on to that life get more and more jaded, and they become more and more bitter. So some things I've seen is, if any Gaijin Hunter, as soon as you see her or within 20 minutes conversation, oh, you're for American, I know American guys, I know all about you, or I know what you're like, or things like that, kind of getting flashbacks of dudes that played her in the past, or messed around with her. So she just automatically projects that on every foreign guy she meets, thinking that she knows everything about your culture, knows everything about you, knows everything you're going to do before you do it, just because you've been in Japan for a few months or a few years or something like that. And it's really annoying. Just because okay, you don't know me, and just because I'm a black guy, or just because I'm whatever, category of foreign guy you've kind of met and probably slept with or dated or whatever, you think that we're all the same. But even though it's probably her just going after the same type of guy that she wants to get with. In a nutshell, I'd say that's kind of my image of them. Of course, the younger ones are very superficial in their targeting of foreign guys. Of course, as you'll see in the video later, which I'm going to leave a link to. So just go ahead, as always, watch through to the end, and then you can check out the full video at the end, or check it out in the comment section. It'll be there as well. But basically, the younger ones are more focused on just, again, superficial looks. So this is where you have to do some more self-analysis, in my opinion. Are you like a dreamy Calvin Klein or, Tommy Hilfiger looking model white guy? Are you a dude who dresses the hip hop part? Are you a guy who, looks like something that she's seen in a music video, for example? Because of course, in my opinion, each category of foreign guys here, each has groupies, if you will, and within those groupies also come Gaijin Hunters, is how I think of things. So I have encountered Gaijin Hunters for black guys who, when I, dressed, when I was in my 20s, I dressed a lot more street, a lot more hip hop, who thought oh, okay, you're this type of guy, and you like this type of stuff. Story time. I did have one encounter with maybe a rookie Gaijin Hunter. I think when I was fresh off the boat, way back in 2004. I'll make it a quick story. So basically, I just came to Japan, and I was thinking I was getting a little bit homesick. And so I was walking around Tokyo. I just went for a walk, wandering around Tokyo on my day off during the daytime. I had a day off at Monday or Tuesday or something like that. So I'm walking, I walk from some random station all the way through and end up back in Shibuya. And it's about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. The only place that was open, I think, was the Hub at that time. So I go into the Hub just for a drink. I don't even think it was an alcoholic drink. And then the waitress, she comes running over to me, and she's like, oh, because I'm the only one in there, and she comes running over to me, serving me and stuff like that. And I couldn't speak any Japanese at that time, but she was talking to me, and then she, towards the end when we're about to leave, that's right. I remember I had like a jersey on. So like I had like a football jersey on, some baggy pants or whatever. I looked like, typical, 2000s hip hop dude. And she was like, "Oh, let's go for some food or something like that. Do you want to go out on a date?" Her English wasn't great from what I remember, but she was like, "Do you want to go out for a restaurant or izakaya?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." This is, I'm like, "Hey, I'm the man, I guess." Yeah. So she was, pretty cute, whatever, Japanese girl. So I wait for her. She's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go change." So I wait for her, and she comes out with, and podcast listeners have heard this before, she comes out with like this, all I remember is this really bright yellow hip hop sweatshirt, like Inois or Mecca or something type of sweatshirt. It's yellow and white. And then she had like this huge fake medallion with with like poker cards spread out, on the medallion, with fake rubies all in it. And I'm just like, should I just like run for the door right now? Like, but there's really nothing I could do. And so, and I'm a nice guy. I was like, "All right, cool, let's go out." So we went out, and we go to this izakaya. And this is not, I'm not trying to pigeonhole all Japanese women like that, but she was pretty racist, like because she was like, "Hey, do you want some chicken?" And I'm like, "Not really. I'm not in the mood for any chicken." She's like, "Oh, this place has really good chicken. You should try some." I'm like, I don't really want to eat chicken." And so she was like, "The fried chicken here is great." And so she was pushing this fried chicken. I'm like, "Fine, get the fried chicken, whatever. I'm blinded by your medallion right now. I can't really focus." So she orders some karaage, which is Japanese style fried chicken, but it's like terrible. It's like a huge chunk of chicken. It's all messed up, right? And so we eat, and I'm like, "Okay, I'm never gonna see this chick again." Like, the date was quite mediocre. Her medallion was horrible. I'm not, I was embarrassed walking around Shibuya with her. And so then she's like, "Here, you can take it home with you," which is normally not a thing. So I guess like, you normally don't get doggy bags in Japan at all, especially back then. So somehow she must have pressed the staff to get a doggy bag. And so she gives me this big lump of like fried chicken, and I'm like, "Okay, thanks, whatever." And I threw it in the fridge when I got back to my guest house. And like a week later, when I went to throw it out, I looked at it, and it was like, the secret, the Kaiger's Sose moment revealed, like, she ordered the chicken because I'm black. Kind of moment. So that was, I think, my only real encounter dating a Gaijin Hunter. Beyond that, it was just at, events and things like that. I'm not pigeonholing, saying all Japanese women are racist. I've never really experienced like broad racism, in Japan. I'd say that was like the mildest racism, stereotyping kind of thing I've had to deal with. Nothing else besides that. But I do think that you're gonna deal with Gaijin Hunters judging you by your appearance, straight up. That's all there is. Don't look for anything deeper at all. Where to meet them? I would say you're gonna want to be, it depends on where you are. Like for me, in a nightclub, again, like a hip hop nightclub back in the day, that's where they were hanging. If you're like pretty boy white guy with blue eyes and like hair that goes all swirly, like in the front, clubs in Shinjuku or Shibuya, maybe, that play EDM or tech or trance or some kind of, this type of music, will be your spot. Also, probably international parties for younger people. If you're just looking to take somebody home, definitely younger, under 25, under 26 kind of places. The ones with the older ones are going to be looking for a relationship, a superficial relationship, hoping to, fulfill their Gaijin Hunter fantasies of taking your DNA and having like a mixed race kid kind of hybrid. So be on the lookout for that. And they're going to be trying to position you as quickly as possible to get that. I've heard stories of, friends going on dates, and the first date, the girl's like, "Hey, I don't need you. I need your DNA. You can sleep with me, get me pregnant, and then I never need to see you again." I've heard like that several times as well. So again, it's kind of a warped sense of priority, but that's what it is. That's why they really get such a bad rep, because they, you know, just like they're the opposite of people who have, you know, yellow fever, or who just only go after or fetishize Japanese women. They're the complete opposite. They're the opposite end of the spectrum of that, and just only fetishize foreign guys for what they perceive, or the genes that they hope they can pass on to their unborn child. So I hope that rant was helpful. Now let's get into the video. So let's set that up for you. Basically, this guy, again, his channel, Jacob POV. I really like him. You know, he might have worked for Google, so he might have had to delete the video I mentioned before. I'm guessing because he took a girl home, she might have had second thoughts about being on camera so much, because she was totally on camera, like with it. It was clearly like he smashed her, you know, and so he might have been respectful and took the video down just because she didn't want that out there. I like this guy. I like the way he does things. You know, in the video that got deleted, he, you know, was talking to some girls in Osaka, and yeah, you know, he, before putting the camera on them, asked them if it was okay, if he could, you know, record them using translation apps. Basically, him and I think his friends, they were just dudes running through girls in Japan, but they were doing it respectfully. They were doing it in a safe way, you know, and they were kind of abiding. They were getting wasted and having fun, but they were having good, clean fun that young guys do in Japan, which I think is totally cool, right? They weren't being assholes to like any of the people here. They were treating the girls with respect, even though, you know, they were just having one night, you know, they wanted to have fun, he wanted to have fun. That's totally fine. It's all fair game, and I think that's great. How, from what I could gather, what he's doing, it seemed like, you know, again, if you look at the guy in the clip, you'll see he is like a very attractive, you know, traditional kind of white guy. That's what it is, right? So he's working the looks card. You got to do the self-assessment too, if you can follow his example or not. But basically what seems like his playbook was he was going on social media. It seems like he was going on Bumble. Again, I've never used Bumble. I've heard of it. I don't know the details or nuances of it. What it is, you can let me know with a comment if you do. But it seems like he was going on Bumble, trying to match with younger girls in their, you know, like early mid-20s, lining it up for the night as much as possible, then meeting them in a nightclub, hanging out, and then smashing and dashing. It seemed like it was working for him, so hopefully that information works for you. So we're going to take a look with him. It seems like a random girl he met right away at a club, him going out with some of his friends, and I'll give you a breakdown of what I see. OMW, on my way to you, good at what I do, OMW. So right off the bat, I like his style. Me and my friends used to do this too. They're getting drunk, well, of course, before pre-gaming on the streets before they go into the club. Again, nightclub drinks are pretty expensive, so, you know, drinking as much as you can. I mean, not like totally wasted, but getting a good buzz going on before you go into the club is always a good idea here. You don't just want to be like sober walking into a nightclub, and then if you drink, expecting to start drinking more there, because it will run up your bill for the night. Even if the yen is weak, it's just a better idea to just sit in front of a convenience store. Again, if you haven't heard my video, not in front of the main entrance, to the side, off a little bit, in like a more quiet corner, and don't be too loud and crazy, but, you know, just have fun. Get ready for the night, have a couple of drinks there, or at like a izakaya beforehand, just to get warmed up for the night, then go into the nightclub. Always a good idea. So before I forget, there is kind of music here. I'm not sure if I'll have to cut it out during the editing process, just for copyrights and stuff like that. If I do, my bad. But you can see girls, pretty small, cute, petite kind of girl. That, you know, she said that she came up to her or met her right away. Again, it's a superficial kind of thing. She clearly is going to be a Gaijin Hunter. Not from her look. You're not really going to be able to tell from her look. Later on in the video, you'll kind of hear the way she talks. No, her English is really good. I think she probably stayed abroad for about a year. You know, but when you're in a nightclub in that type of situation, that's why I said you got to do a little bit of self-analysis. Are you a fairly attractive guy? You know, even if you're like, let's say a 6, for example, if you're a 6, you'll get that boost depending on the place in the situation where you're in. if you're in a club where there aren't that many foreign guys, if you're in, a place that's catered to your needs, then you're kind of going to be at an advantage. And if there are any Gaijin hunters in the building, they're going to probably zoom in on you. So this guy in this other video, he's pretty experienced with women. He's pretty experienced with nightclubs, nightlife. So he kind of knows, how to dance, how to milk it, how to have fun. Not only just like being creepy, like in the corner, like looking, scanning like a Terminator for like anything he can take down. Which you'll probably see in some other like Passport Bro videos where they're just like looking all creepy and trying to like, grab some girls for the camera. Have fun. Like, that's what you're here to do. Yes, like, banging chicks is a good thing, but you're in Japan to experience your life here. And if you're not the type of person that can have a good time in your home country, you're probably not going to be the type of person that's going to be able to have a good time in Japan, which means that your chances of like getting chicks is going to be lower. So think about that. Are you able to like go talk to girls in a bar or a cafe or something in your home country? Do you have a reasonable amount of game? I'm not saying you got to be like a player or anything like that, but are you comfortable actually talking to girls? Like, if you are, you should be fine if you're in the type of environment that's where your category of groupie exists. Again, leave a comment if you have any questions. I'll try my best to, give my hot takes, as my friend Jeff says, my BS hot takes, for whatever they're worth. Yeah, so you can see she's totally happy in the club. She's totally comfortable in the club situation. She might be by herself. It seems like she's by herself, which I didn't pick up when I was scanning through this video before. So, a cute small girl like that going to the club by herself, dressed the way she's dressed, she probably knows that she can meet the type of guys that she wants there. And she probably, again, she grabbed him before anyone else could. My mental calculation, she's definitely like a Gaijin Hunter, younger version of that. The type that I dealt with in her later 20s will become extremely bitter unless she decides to give that up and either trap a foreign guy and marry him, or give up on that and kind of get a Japanese guy with a stable job. But yeah, for now, she's young. I don't care. She's young. She's having fun. She's trying to bang a whole bunch of foreign dudes. She probably, I think I heard her talk later in this video. She sounds like she lived abroad for probably about a year-ish. So probably dated a bunch of foreign guys too. So, she is good at English and, she's living her life.
What race are you?
I'm Japanese.
Japanese.
I'm Japanese.
Kawaii ne. Interesting. Omoshiroi.
面白くない。
Omoshiroi kunai. Wait. Okay.
何？
Go. Wait here. I'm gonna see if they
You
if
wanna
there's.
go there?
This is where I'm staying.
Seriously?
Uh,
No way. It looks like a. It's Homachi.
Homati.
Homachi.
Where's that?
Homachi is Homachi. This one. You're gonna snake there.
We will sneak you in.
Right.
So, they left the club together. She doesn't mind being on camera. It's clear that she's ready to smash. She's ready to go. The only thing I disagree with him a little bit is how he's approaching it at this point in the night. That you can tell he's kind of annoying her, basically, with the way she's like, "Oh, so can I eat?" Because he's putting the camera on, of course, for audiences like us. So I appreciate him getting the footage, but also like she doesn't really like his back and forth, kind of playful, sarcastic, stuff. I would be a little bit softer with how I say things. Oh, kawaii ne, or like whispering it to her a little bit, or let me hold your hand, being romantic, basically treating her like his girlfriend a little bit more. Instead of the kind of, you know how we do in the West, if you think you got a chick in the bag, you kind of playfully mess with her a little bit or tease her, poke her a little, you know what I'm saying? Like a little bit, like in that juvenile kind of way. I wouldn't really do that. Once he's taking her out of that club equation, she's clearly wants to be with him. He's clearly got it in the bag. Then I would shift into more romantic mode, to make her feel safe, make her feel comfortable, make her, change the atmosphere of it a little bit, not really in the playful kind of club kind of way. Another important thing too is they're staying in a hostel, and so, girls generally want to go to a place that makes them feel comfortable. So either a hotel, or you think he or she's saying she wants to go back to her hotel apparently. So trying to take her back to your place. I would probably recommend going back to her place if possible. Ask her if you want to go back to her place, or a love hotel if you can, finagle that. But that's probably what she would prefer to do. I don't know what they do in his hostel or whatever. It kind of cuts there. But yeah, there's another video as well related to this. Of course, the original video is right here. There's a lot more to it. Let me know with a like or a comment if you have any more questions, and I'll answer it.